What's up? What's up? We had a
We're
hurricane
back.
day. Julie and I
We
had a
did have
hurricane
a
day
day.
last week.
That was funny. Well, it's funny because I'm in LA, so the hurricane was supposed to hit us, but it really didn't. And so I took a picture of of the streets and how dry it was, and I sent her that video. And it was funny because the media showed floods and this, and I was like, "Where's the rain?" So I was completely dry the whole time. But the hurricane said it was like, oh, we might miss Tampa, and then your office gets flooded.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was just because the office is right by the ocean. So when what do they call it? My God, it has a name, but when the water rises, we're right next to it. So anybody right next to the water is always at risk.
Oh, even if it just rains.
No, not if it just rains. Storm surge. That's what it's called. Boom. That's what happens in the hurricane. You get the storm surge.
Gotcha.
So, uh,
Wrong place at the wrong time.
yeah, I mean, they closed our building for like 3 days. I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, anyway, today we were thinking of doing a little blend here. We were talking beforehand about um, our childhood innocence and when does that really begin to dissipate. And we were saying that it seems like it's happening younger and younger. What's your theory on that, Julie?
I think that we have more um just influence from social media. I really think before, let's say way back in the day, right? You had like seven people in your class. The only people you saw was there seven people, or it would be a whole afternoon to get to a neighbor, or it would be at least you'll be outside a lot, you'll be running around and all that. Um, Nowadays, I feel like there's a fear of outdoor play because you're gonna get kidnapped or ran over or whatever. There's a lot of crime outside. I feel like a lot of people are staying inside, maybe video games or social media or TV and all that. So all we see on TV are perfect people, skinny people, whatever their version of perfect is. But it's
Perfect
sad because
families. That was
oh
another
yeah.
thing I remember from when I was little. Like, man, I wish my house was like Full House.
No, you know what? That gave me like a little mini aha right now when you said perfect family. 'Cause I was like, that's so true. I always watch those hoping that it was my home, or thinking, hey, that's not fair. Why
Yeah,
does my home have this feeling, and why can't we just be like that?
absolutely. I felt the
And
same
with
way.
social media nowadays, I actually spoke to somebody that did lighting for influencers. Like he sold lights to influencers. And a lot of times they would also set up large scale lighting for stages and things like that. But now there's a very strict no behind the scenes footage, camera, photography. You cannot use your phone or you cannot take a picture or whatever as soon as you step into the studio. You only can use your phone for, connectivity, but you cannot take any pictures and post them. And the reason is because it's so different. They look so different in real life than they do on camera. So it was
Oh,
really, yeah, which also just makes everybody think that they're perfect, right? Because we're not really exposed. We don't see celebrities. We just see them behind a camera or behind a screen or behind whatever. So these are imaginary people, really, right? They're fixed up, photoshopped, cleaned up, whatever it is. And my sister followed an influencer for a long time and saw her at Coachella and was like, and wasn't sure if that was her because she said her arm, she was just so much bigger. She was probably 40 pounds heavier than the pictures and the videos. And she was like, "Is that her? That's not her. That's." She kept going back and forth. Is that her? Is that not her? And she wanted to say hi and everything, but she wasn't sure. Then she saw a tattoo on her arm that was the same tattoo as the influencer, Then she saw another tattoo like on her ankle or whatever that was the same. So she went, "Oh, that is her." Then she just was taken back, going, "I can't believe that was her," because her arm is like 3 times bigger than what's on YouTube. And
Wow.
which is weird 'cause I didn't know that like videos you could Photoshop or you could adjust videos. I thought when someone's speaking, that's who they are, but it's not. Like you could actually adjust something on live video.
Well, I don't know anything about adjusting things on live video, but I do know I've been seeing and very impressed with, shall I say, all these CapCut filters. And CapCut is an app where you can edit videos. And they have ones where they can take your photo and make it into headshots. And they have
Oh,
ones where they can take you overweight and show what you would look like if you were skinny. They have all kinds of filters. I mean, we know that filters exist from Instagram, but now TikTok has a filter that basically makes it look like you've had plastic surgery. Like the one for me looks like I have like chin implants and like it's
oh,
very lip fillers. It's very interesting. And like my
wow.
eyes look a lot younger. So,
Can I see that? Screenshot that to me,
oh,
please.
yes, I will totally send it to you. Absolutely. I have a crush on myself, actually. I'm like, God, you are so good looking here. But
You have
a couple of people
aged.
have told me no, not to do it. But I mean, I'm not doing it anyways. I'm just saying it's really interesting how far technology's come. And I don't know again about like a live video, how you would do that, but I know that those apps and such exist. One of my friends actually recently posted a photo. She said she used this app to get headshots, and I was like, "What is this?" So I look at the app, and it's like wild. Like you post a picture, and then it makes you look like you're doing a professional headshot.
That's
Like
incredible.
people
Actually,
people get paid for that, and now you can just download an app.
is it for free?
There's a free version of the app, and then there's like two different levels if you want to pay for it.
Yeah, because I actually need to get it headshots for a bio that I need to send. So I was trying to like do the cheap way, just take a picture of my iPhone or something like that on a blank background. And it doesn't look that good. But I'm not really good. The problem is I'm not good at these whole filter things. So I wish somebody that was really good was like, "Oh, Julie, just do this." I'm like, "Got it." And I always look like like the picture got taken from me. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to
Mm,
make it look like a headshot. So,
yeah.
but I guess it's because the flash in the background or something that I don't know, whatever.
Who I can't explain it, but there's a lot of details to it.
That's
Lighting,
cool.
such, all of that.
Yeah. Um, which leads to our topic of like body image, right? And and like you were sharing earlier, what's triggered this whole conversation was your daughter at 7 years old said, "Hey, mom, I'm fat," or "I think I'm fat," or "I don't." How did she say it? What happened?
Well, first she said that she was chubby, and I'm like, why are you calling yourself chubby? And her response was, well, because you don't like the word fat. So I said, oh, okay, but why do you think you're fat? She was like, look at my stomach. And bless her heart, she's shaped like her dad. So her stomach, it's not like perfectly flat, but she doesn't have any fat on her stomach. It's just the way that she's kind of shaped. Um, so I was like, Mama, and I also think that she grows very fast. She's in the 90, whatever, 95th percentile or something. So she's
Wow.
always growing really fast. And I'm sure that that's, part of why she's looking the way she does right now. But I would never say that she's overweight. And so it really made me sad when she said that. And then she said, I think I would look better like this. And she sucked in her stomach.
Oh, 7 years old. Oh,
Mhm. And so, of course, we had to have a conversation about, I mean, I don't know. What do you even say to that? Like, who you are is not what you look like on the outside. I, I don't know. We had to have a
Yeah.
conversation about like her not being fat, and like I didn't like to hear her say that. And then one night I was talking to Sebastian and I was like, hey, maybe we should eat fruit at night instead of chips. And he's like, why are you saying that? And I was like, well, because it's like it's gonna be oral, it's gonna be tasty, but it's gonna be healthier for us. But I said, so we don't get fat. And she goes, oh. And then I was like, what? And she started rubbing her stomach. And I was like, oh my God. So whatever initial conversation I had with her didn't quite sink in anyway. But I agree with
So,
you that I think it comes from media. And she doesn't have social media, but she watches YouTube and she watches TV. And, you know, for the longest time, she didn't watch anything that wasn't a cartoon. But even if you think about cartoons, a lot of times they're skinny. Like Polly Pocket's really skinny, Barbie's really skinny.
but okay, we're talking about Polly Pocket. That's way back. That's our generation. So
Yeah,
why
Polly
did
Pocket
we?
now.
When did you feel? Oh, I didn't know if it was popular. Is it popular now?
It's on Netflix.
No. Okay.
My kids watch it.
Okay. So when did you like? We're joking about this. When were you the Eve that bit into the apple and realized and kind of messed up your childhood innocence, got that taken away? At what point did you go, oh, I don't think I'm pretty enough. I don't think I'm enough. I don't think I'm skinny enough. I don't think I'm tall enough. I don't whatever the enough is. When was the first when was first that first bite of the apple for you?
I do remember it being young. I do remember it being like pre-teenish probably. And I
Okay.
remember like I started dieting, and I remember that I would just eat Cheerios because, you know, this is a kid dieting. I had no idea what I was doing. So I would eat Cheerios in the morning. I think I might have skipped lunch maybe. And then I would eat Cheerios at dinner and I would lose weight. Like I had this the Cheerio diet worked for me. It's funny, but it's not
how
funny.
how sad, but you were probably already skinny.
Oh yeah, looking back, I mean, uh yeah, I gained the freshman 20, I think, and that was the first time in my life that I ever really gained weight in college.
Oh man.
But you said that you thought about your body image young as well, right? How old were you?
I was probably, I want to say around fifth grade. That's when I started liking guys. That's when I started, or like having big crushes on guys, right? And then going, wanting a boyfriend, aka just having somebody to hold your hand during recess. um, and I really put a lot of my focus on having a boyfriend and feeling accepted and being cool. So in order to be cool, I had to like dress a certain way or like be skinny or something. And I remember people just either calling me, oh, actually mine was my body image was opposite because I was so skinny. Like I had like social services check up on me actually.
Oh my
And I was,
God.
yeah, I was so skinny and I didn't sleep. So I had dark ass bags, so skinny. Like I could always see my ribs showing through. I had no boobs at all. But in fifth grade, you don't. Some people, I guess, they do, but I had nothing, zero, zero, and yeah, lanky, skinny person. So I always wanted to gain weight and have curves. That was my thing. I was like, oh, I wish I had
Oh,
curves. Yeah, and I wish I had boobs, and I couldn't wait for my boobs to come in, and I couldn't wait to have a period because I heard once you have a period, that's when you start having hips or gaining weight. So I was like, oh, please, please, when do I get my period? And my younger sister got my period before I did. I got it,
oh,
yeah, I got freshman year of high school, and I remember she got it she got it a year before I did, and I was so mad, but I couldn't do anything about it, right? Like
I was one
you
of the
just
last of my friends to get my period, and I'm with you. I really wanted it. I wanted the boobs. You know, I don't know why. I
yeah.
don't know why I was Oh, probably because boys were talking about them. That's probably
Yes,
why.
I when I started liking boys and I wanted to ask what they liked, or I thought what they liked. I don't know if I even asked them, "Hey, what do you guys like?" I never said, like, how do we come up with what guys like without asking them? If you think about it, how
I
do we
remember the
know at
boys talking about it. Like I remember some of the younger boys. This was probably in middle school, but I remember them talking about like porn, and I remember them talking about boobs, and maybe even like drawing pictures. Because if
of
you think about
boobs?
it, when we were younger, even like comic books, like the every cartoon woman had like huge boobs. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
So, and we grew up in the time of probably like Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, you know what? I just saw Borat for the first time. I didn't see it. I just randomly, I don't know, it was on TV. So I watched it. Um, my boyfriend really wanted to. He's like, "Oh my God, have you seen Borat?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "You have to watch it." So I watched it, and it's, just hilarious and irreverent the entire time. Um, but they had Pamela Anderson scenes. And I could not believe, now I look back and go, those were regular TV scenes. Like, her having no, there's a couple of scenes in there, having no line and just looking back and going, "Oh, I need to rescue somebody," and literally her just dropping everything and just running slow motion towards the camera. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
that that was Baywatch. Like, I was too young. I was born in 1984, so I don't think I was. Yeah, I don't think we really watched it, right? I think it was part of the tail end of when we were young, old enough to understand what it was, and it was just mind blowing. Now that I look at it, Jesus. And then there was another scene that made me Google this. So I Googled Baywatch, and I saw a scene of her like being taught how to dance, but she's wearing like a tiny little top, right? A skirt, whatever. But the whole time, the guy was just holding her and swaying her from one side to the other. So all she did was do that, like do a dip, but do like a roundabout dip, so you could just see her boobs hanging in her mouth,
Oh, oh,
uh,
oh,
and she
oh.
was just doing a dip and a roundabout, and she kept going doing that and getting dipped. That's all she was doing, and I was like, this is terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It makes me so sad.
Oh, it's kind of hilarious. But see, so we were well, that was what I remember sort of like being exposed to and thinking about. But the crazy part to me is that, we're saying my daughter's so young for this, okay? But you and I are saying around 11 or 12, we started being more body conscious. And then for both of us, we started our periods around like 14,
Mm,
15, right? Well, now she's 7, kids are starting their periods at 9 and 10. So
crazy.
it kind of makes sense timeline wise. This is kind of like heavy stuff that kids are going through these days.
Yeah, what happened to their childhood?
And it's hard to protect them from all of the things that they get exposed to, because even if you restrict everything, that doesn't mean their friends' parents are restricting everything. And
Right.
there's always
And what
older
if they're like, "Can I go to
siblings.
Oh yeah. Or can I go to whoever's house? Can I go to their house? And their house has, you know, like all day Wi-Fi, or that house has older siblings that's like, look, and trying to pick on the little kids and not knowing that they're exposing them and taking away their childhood innocence."
For real.
Like, for your daughter to be like, "I look better like this," and sucking her stomach, just, that breaks my heart at 7 years old. How do we, like, can you stop it? You can't, right? Like, do you have any control over that?
I don't know, because then I think about, did I believe my mom when she was like, no, you're beautiful? Like I remember being like, oh, you have to say that, you're my mom. So
I
I don't
don't
know
remember.
that it's helpful for me to say that to her. Not that I don't. I mean, I tell her that all the time, but
Who do you think she would believe then? A peer.
yeah, that's what I think, probably. peers, teachers, I don't know, anybody but
Celebrities.
me. Yeah.
If somebody, if like,
Jay-Z,
you
I
know,
don't know.
if like a celebrity reached out and said, Liliana, you look great. What are you talking about? Don't lose a pound. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
And she'd
Yeah.
be, okay, okay, celebrity person. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, public, you got it.
But what's important to me, and I just feel like she's too young to even grasp the concept, is that who you are doesn't have anything to do with what you look like.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I want her to be able to be confident in who she is. And ironically, I just had that conversation with a client this morning because she's getting ready to go on a trip and she told me she was super stressed out. And I'm like, all right, what are you stressed out about? Like, what's the most stressful part? And she was like, this is going to sound ridiculous, but clothes. I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, I'm traveling with my cousin, and my cousin's like super fashion forward and she's super prepared. So she's been sending me pictures of the stuff she plans to wear. And I just don't have anything that's gonna like match that. And she's like, and I don't really dress like that anyway. So I like keep taking trips to the mall. And so, she and I were talking about like, just dress how you want to. Let your cousin dress how she wants to, and you dress how you want to. And we kind of then got into this conversation about another friend of mine was telling me about a mom she met who also dresses very fashion forward and sort of provocative, if you will. And she was like, I just like don't have anything in common with that mom. And I was like, yeah, I mean, generally speaking, people aren't your friend because of what you wear.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's not that people don't notice or won't compliment you or anything like that, but like at the end of the day, nobody's like, oh, I'm Julie's friend because she dresses so well.
Yeah. What if you're a huge bitch, right? But you look really good. Ah,
Happens
that's gonna
all
be
the
hard to be friends.
time.
I
Happens
know
all
it's
the
gonna
time.
be really hard to be friends with you because if it's like, you can't stand on that side of my because that's my good side. You got to stand on this side. And I wouldn't be thinking, oh, you're right. At least you look really good.
Yeah.
I'd be like, ew. And then every time I speak, like, no, you're not speaking. You're just gonna sit next to me. I'd be like, what is this? You know what I mean? Or whatever, right? I don't know. But at the same time, there is because my youngest sister is super fashion forward. She wears the most ridiculous things to me. To me, I'm like, is this? Does anybody realize what you're wearing? Like, you look crazy to me. But she thinks she looks amazing, and sometimes I think she looks great, whatever. But it's like it's how sometimes you see one of those fashion weeks or whatever fashion show, and somebody walks down in like a crazy trash bag or something like that with a hole just for one eyeball, and
Yep.
then and then like a straw for your nostrils, and shit like that. That's so weird that you're like, no one's gonna wear that, and no one wears that because it's not like a normal thing. My sister will wear that. I'm like, are you serious? She just wears these the weird plastic sandals one day, like it was like those huge platform sandal things. Ugh, what is this? But she feels so good in it. And the thing is that in your situation with the client, the cousin is probably not knowing that she's making somebody feel anxious. She's just so happy and so excited, like, I'm gonna wear this, I'm gonna wear this, oh my god, I'm so excited about this. But she doesn't realize that the receiver is like, oh my god, building the anxiety, going, how am I gonna match that? And you at the end of the day, just accept you don't. I'm not going to dress like my little sister because I honestly don't look good in what she's wearing. She's much shorter than me. She's much skinnier than me. And and I actually don't really like that style. But if I wore it, I would look very weird. Like I'm 2 sizes bigger than her. I'm, probably like 30 pounds heavier than her. And it's just going to make me look fat and short and weird, right? Or lanky, or I don't know. So, like, I always say just dress to whatever your body's, or just whatever makes you feel like $1,000,000, because you'll act like $1,000,000, and you'll have the energy like $1,000,000, and you'll attract people, and you will, once you just love yourself, even in the trash bag, whatever that looks like to you, you're gonna actually have the best day because of that.
I love that you said that's what will make you feel like $1,000,000, and then you'll have that energy around you and you'll attract that. And I think that there's a lot to be said for that. But if that's the case, then who we are and what we're confident in really should have absolutely nothing to do with what we look like on the outside. And it's nice to get dressed up and feel good in what you're wearing, but I also hope for my clients and for myself and for my children that they can feel confident in who they are at their core, not what our materials show, I guess you could say. And we live
Yeah.
in a very materialistic image culture, and so that I think makes it really hard.
Oh, I think that makes it terrible. Just because, like, all these, even influencers, that the reason why they got famous is because their authenticity. Did people watch YouTube because they're like, I'm so sick of what's on TV because it's all fake. So let me look at someone real, and it's supposed to be someone on with a webcam or a phone and in their own house talking to people and giving their advice, or giving their what sharing their life with somebody, their real authentic life. That's how they got famous.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as they get famous, they get into, okay, now where's the lighting, where's the editing, where's the blah blah
Because
blah,
it
da, da, da.
becomes their job.
And then but the thing is it there, sometimes I feel like, okay, it's, is it nature, is it nurture? Is it the
Mm.
environment that we start, the comments start flooding in? Oh my god, bitch is too fat. Oh my god, bitch is too skinny. Oh my god, her hair looks whack. Oh my god, whatever. And then she starts reading the comments, and then she starts changing, and she starts whatever. Then maybe the comments start changing. Oh my god, I love the hair. I love the new hair. Oh my god, you have such silky skin. Oh my god. She said, okay, I have silky skin. I have silky skin. I gotta remain silky forever. So, then you do that stuff. So is it nature or nurture?
Hmm? I mean, when you start getting into comments, that's a tough space to be in, because people always have an opinion, and oftentimes they're conflicting, shall we say. So, and then if your identity is wrapped up in which one you choose to believe, that's also really hard. And that's where I think it's so important for us to have a good grip and concept of who we are outside of what other people are thinking. Not that we aren't going to be influenced by other people's opinions, because we're humans. That's just the way that goes.
Yep.
But it can be less bothersome if we can be more confident in who we know that we are.
Yeah, because like we talked about, it's a lot easier said than done, right? When they said, oh, human decoding, remember we talked about that? Watch your life like you're watching a movie, but sometimes when I watch a movie, I still defend the guy. I'm like, no. Or or you go, motherfucker, that guy better get killed. Kill that guy. You want that person, the enemy, the person, you want that person to die. And so that's what it comes down to, right? It comes down to, like, trying to separate the emotion, and sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's like, oh, you know what, okay, I understand it, I get it, whatever, let it get done. And sometimes you get into the movie accidentally, you get pissed off, you step away, and you go, okay, 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 I gotta calm down, but sometimes you're in a movie for a really long time.
That's true. And, some philosophers say that our life is basically a movie and it's basically an illusion. That's a whole other can of worms, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I think that this concept of who you are at your core and the essence of who you are is so important. And I feel like, okay, just for funsies, how would you describe yourself?
Oh, I always have a problem with this because I don't know.
Come
Uh,
on. How about I describe you
okay,
and you
okay.
can describe me?
Well, that's cheating too, right? If you think about it, how? Okay, let
Yeah,
me ask
you're
the question
right.
to you.
You're right. That is cheating.
Alicia, how would I? How would you describe yourself?
Me, I'm
How would
starting
you
now.
describe it? Yeah, yeah,
Turn
yeah.
turned around on me. Okay.
See, it's much harder, and then we both see our faces are a little bit more blush right now. We're like having this awkward smiling, like
Yeah.
because it's the fight of if I say something, am I tooting my own horn? Am I making myself feel conceited? Do I want to be that vulnerable? Or are people going to judge me? Or if I don't say it, do people think that I'm being fake or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, where do you start? And also the complexity of human. Where do we start? Do we say, describe myself like I was born here? Like the facts, I was
No, no, no,
born
no.
here,
That's
my
not what I'm looking
mother,
for.
father, or this person, blah, blah, blah.
No.
Yeah, you're looking for
Okay,
like
so
the
here,
characteristics of yourself, right?
right. Yes. So, okay, so if I had to describe myself in a positive way, I mean, I can tell you the negatives too if you want. But if I had to describe myself in a positive way, um, I would say being humorous is really it is a big quality that I have. Um, being kind is another one. It's hard for me to be mean to people, even though I think it in my head sometimes. Um, empathetic. That's why it's hard for me to be mean. Well, at least in part. Um, and I mean, those three things I think are kind of like what pointed me in the direction of where I went in life. Um, I'm also kind of adventurous. I do have limits though. I'm not going cave diving. Don't try to get me to do cave diving. And fun
I actually
loving.
went the other day.
What'd you say?
No fun. Oh, I said I remember I went when I was in Cancun. We went cave diving.
You
Very
did?
scary.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's so
Yeah,
scary.
I can't. It's like so scary to me.
Yeah,
Um,
I felt like I was gonna suffocate. Like, if this doesn't end and I run out of oxygen, I'm gonna die.
yeah, exactly. That's why I can't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Anyway, so yeah,
but I
fun
have
loving,
done like
smart.
skydiving and what was that? Canyon jumping kind of thing. Um, so
That's fun.
I do like to do a little risky, I guess you could say. um, yeah, I have a strong.
You're smart. You're easy to be around.
Thank you. Yeah, I get the feedback a lot that I'm down to earth, easy to talk to. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think that's a brief overview, I think, of how I would describe myself. Now, having heard that, what would you say about you?
I would say that I'm pretty fearless about a lot of things, even though
Mm,
I'm scared, like the cave diving. Like even though I'm like, oh my god, I could die. Okay, sign me up. Like I do those things because I'm like, I'd rather say yes and die than say no and regret it.
okay.
Or like, I don't know. I just like I don't want to lay in bed and be like, oh man, I wish I cave died that one day. Oh man, I wish I did it. And I really don't have that. You know what I mean? And I do a lot of stupid stuff.
I think that's
Stupid stuff.
awesome. But the fearlessness is probably, I'll leave that alone. I was gonna say part of the reason that you're good at what you do, but that's irrelevant, really. We're talking about your core
Oh, yeah.
self. And so fearless, okay, that's one.
Fearless. I have a good sense of humor. I
Yeah.
love laughing. I feel like I'm strategic.
Ooh, okay.
Strategic. I don't know.
I think you're
Stuck.
generous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think you're really friendly.
Okay, I can say friendly. I can say that I'm approachable,
Yeah.
friendly, and non-judgmental.
Yeah, for sure.
Really proud of that. Um, yeah, accepting, non-judgmental. Um, I don't know.
Those are good.
Nervous.
Those are good. Those are good for, brief summary. But those things are that combination of things is unique to you. And my combination is unique to me. And so those things are what I would like to call the core self, and the part of you that sort of makes up your personality and makes up your appeal and your unique, the unique things that you have to offer the world. Another way to evaluate your core self is to ask yourself, what do you value in other people? Like, what's
Mm,
important to you? Um, and that's a part of who you are at your core. And that's something that you can be confident in. So, um, we were saying feedback that I get is that I'm down to earth. I value genuine people. I value authentic people.
mm.
So, that's also representative, kind of goes hand in hand with who I am. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
So, when you can figure out who you are, and it's not even like, what am I good at or where am I from? It's none of those things. It's, what are your values? What are your core characteristics? Those things stay with you. Nobody can take those away from you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you went bankrupt, if you got kicked out of the house, if you got dropped into a different country that you don't know the language, you don't know anybody there, and whatever you have none of your material stuff with you. You got dropped in, naked and afraid, somewhere, bunch of people. What would you carry with you? And those are the core values. You would
Yes.
carry the good sense of humor. You'll carry the fearlessness. You'll carry the, like yours is easy to be around, approachable, down
I
to
would
earth.
do great in prison, for example.
Oh, you'd be someone's bitch for sure, lady.
I would be everyone's friend. It would be great.
Dude, everyone would talk to you about everything. Like, oh my God, so last night, guess what? My boyfriend came to visit me, and then my baby daddy came too, and they were both fighting in the cell together.
Did you ever watch Orange is the New Black?
No, I'm not a big TV watcher, but I remember it being really popular.
I feel like you would be the girl who starts the business of selling prison panties.
Oh, for sure. Like, oh, we can make money. Let's do it. What do we do?
Your strategic
Yeah.
personality would be. Oh God.
Like, does she deserve panties today?
No,
Nah.
no, no. They were wearing the panties and then selling them online.
Oh, oh. They were selling used prison panties online to people?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's funny. Oh, I would do that in a heartbeat. Why wouldn't you do that? That's great.
I know, I know. It's pretty
I wouldn't even
hilarious to
wear for
think
a
about.
full day. I'd probably go through them so fast. Like, why is she always? I'm like, I said, God, in and out, in and out, in and off, on and off. Come on, let's go. We're not wearing these panties fast enough.
Oh God. So anyway, yeah. Um, I don't know how. We were talking about core self. I was like, how did I get off on that?
Do you think if you talked to Liliana and you said, "Hey, Liliana, let's do an exercise. I'm gonna write down all the things that make that if I describe me, right? Da, 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 da. Write a list of things that describe you." And she'll be like, "Okay, these are our core values. So even if we got fat or skinny or crazy tall or dyed our hair black or maybe you should leave out the naked and afraid part, but 7 might be too young for that, but or might not be too young for
She
that now.
loves being naked, which is
Oh,
ironic, I guess.
yeah. So maybe you could write that and then say, these are the values you have no matter what you look like. So be proud of these because in this world, we don't know, you know, in certain cultures you're going to look great, certain culture you don't look great, and whatever. But at the end of the day, who cares? You have these values, and you can be proud of these.
Well, and different cultures think that different things are pretty anyways. I saw some lady talking about how in China people like to have a certain look to their face and like really light skin. And
Oh, super
she,
light skin, neck, V-shaped face or something. I think it was called.
yeah. And she was saying that she didn't do well in China, that people thought she was very ugly. So she came over to the United States and people thought she was beautiful. She has bigger lips
Oh,
and what I guess thinner lips are more desirable in
yeah.
China. So, different cultures view beauty differently anyways. But I think that's a good idea. I would really like to do that exercise with her and I will report back and let you know
Yes,
how.
please. How exciting.
Yeah. So we'll see what she has to say about herself.
Hopefully it's cute. It's not,
I
it
hope
doesn't
so.
that. Oh,
Yeah. We do lose our innocence just a touch too young these days, but that's all right. We'll do our best to guide these kids in the right.
maybe we should have our listeners do that. I'm going to do that after this recording. I'm going to write a list of my core values and be, just sit with it for a little bit. Just write it down and just be proud of what who we become or who we think we are.
You know who has the best list
Who?
of characteristics is AA, because when you get to step 4, you have to do what they call a personal inventory, and you have
Mm.
to look at yourself and evaluate yourself fully. And they have this sheet, and you can Google it online, the step 4 personal inventory, characteristics or whatever. And you can mark on there which characteristics most, and it's both positive and negative, which what's interesting about that is that our positive traits can also be negative. So it's always, and that's a whole other session, but yeah. So if you so choose, you can Google step 4 personal inventory characteristics, and yeah, there's good list, good
That's
comprehensive
cool.
list.
I'm gonna look at it right now.
All right. Well, we will reconvene on this next time.
Give us an update.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye.